Bringing his unique perspective as an ordained Roman Catholic priest and a religious studies professor to the Chapman Visiting Scholar Series, Dr. Rafael Luevano, author of Women Killing in Juarez, talked with the Nicholas Academic Center students about his research on the tragic killings of hundreds of women in Juarez, Mexico.
In 1993, I was reading the paper. Really, I was reading the paper. In the morning, like normal, nothing happened. And there was just this tiny little article in the Los Angeles Times. It was about 3 or 4 lines. And it said that 5 or 6 women had been killed in Juarez, Mexico. I remember I was sitting there and I lifted up my head, and all of you will have moments like this in your life. In that instant, my life changed. Something happened to me. It grabbed me very deeply inside of me. And from that moment until the present, every day I look in the newspapers and every day I follow these stories. How do you respond to the question and explain innocent suffering? And I don't know if I have all the answers, but that's also part of my, what it means to be a religion professor, and also for me, also what it means to be a priest, to ponder and to be with these people.
Dr. Luevano cited several factors such as the implementation of NAFTA, as well as the growing influence of drug cartels as precursors to the current violence that plagues border towns like Juarez.
This has a long, long history in Mexico, a long history in Mexico of corruption in the government. And with the drug cartel, it gets even worse, because if you don't do what they say, what are they going to do to you? Kill you. If they can't buy you off, there's only 2 options. You either get bought off and you buy into what's going on, or you get killed. Okay? And so there's corruption, so there's nowhere to turn.
I learned that it's been happening for so long that there's nobody who actually wants to deal with it, because nobody wants problems. Everybody wants to be in peace, and hypocrites, they talk about something, changing something, but actually don't. Their actions show otherwise.
At one point during the lecture, Dr. Luevano encouraged students to hold hands in order to illustrate the concept and power of solidarity. Dr. Luevano mentioned that friends and relatives of the women killed in Juarez often find support by forming relationships with others who are familiar with their suffering.
Okay, so this is what solidarity is. We're all human beings. And no matter what religion or what we are or how old we are or who we are, and when you are suffering, it puts you in contact with your deepest part of being a human. Does this make sense? And when you see somebody else suffering, it puts you in deepest contact with your suffering. Okay?
I never knew there were teenagers that were also being killed. And I never knew that moms would be looking for them for so long, and then I never knew that this was going on for so long. I thought it was just recent that it was happening.
And I think that we might be passing through bad situations, but what we have to do is come all together and hang each other and try to solve problems together.
Challenging students to think critically about societal problems through presentations such as Dr. Luevano's lecture is one of the many ways the Nicholas Academic Centers help prepare students for a collegiate environment. Dr. Henry Nicholas, co-founder, former co-chairman, president, and CEO of Broadcom Corporation, and retired Superior Court Judge Jack Mandel, founded the centers in 2008 to help inner-city youth increase their academic potential and gain entry into college. Since the centers were established in 2008, over 230 students have graduated, with 100% of them enrolling and going on to college, compared to 61% for Hispanic high school students. 95% of NAC students attending four-year colleges continue to be enrolled, compared to a retention rate of only 75% for students nationally. To close the lecture, and to honor the women who have lost their lives in Juarez, Dr. Luevano asked all in attendance to name something that they're thankful for.
And I am so thankful that I got to be here with all of you. And you are such an inspiration. So we all give thanks together, and thank you very much. Let's have a hand.